Yo, what is good YouTube? It's the Deli, back with another Destiny 2 build video, and today we're going to take a look at my Prismatic Titan. In this build, we're going to be utilizing the new exotic class item, so we're going to be able to have two exotic perks. We're going to have improved melee damage when we're surrounded. We're also going to gain bonus super damage after throwing our super for 30 seconds. It's going to be a free ×4 weapon surge. We're also going to be constantly radiant, have overshield, be amplified. We're going to be able to proc devour and weaken targets while having volatile rounds. This is an insane build. Let's jump into it. Alright, now jumping into the build, we are going to be using the new exotic Titan mark Stoicism. On my role of Stoicism, I was able to get Spirit of the Eternal Warrior and Spirit of Syntheseps. Spirit of the Eternal Warrior. Gain bonus damage for weapons matching your super's element when your super ends. This is going to be very strong because the new Titan super, Twilight Arsenal, is a quick super. It's almost like a one and done super. So we're going to throw that super and we're going to get a free ×4 weapon surge for our void weapons for 30 seconds. This is perfect for boss fights. You throw that super and you're going to get instant bonus damage. It's really strong. It's going to work good with weapons like Edge Transit, Falling Guillotine, and you could always switch your super up to Strand if you have something like Cataphract or the new Strand exotic linear. Now, our second exotic perk we got was Spirit of Syntheseps. Improves melee damage when you're surrounded. This is going to be very nice in this build. We're going to be able to proc Knockout, which is going to give us more bonus damage and health regeneration. We're going to constantly have Devour, which is going to heal us and give us grenade energy as well. And we're just going to be able to do big damage. We also compare this with Consecration as well. This is a very strong perk to roll on your exotic class item. Now, taking a look at our exotic weapon of choice, we are going to be using the Buried Bloodline exotic sidearm. Its intrinsic trait is Hungering Coral. Double fires tracking bolts, landing bolts leeches health from the targets. Its trait is Violet Reanimation. Multiple final blows with this weapon grant Devour to the wielder. This is going to be really nice in this build. We're going to be able to get Devour, which is going to heal us and give us grenade energy, and it's going to pair very well with all the other buffs we're going to be getting in this build. Also, this is going to work very well with some artifact mods this season. Now, taking a look at our super abilities, aspects, and fragments. For the super, we are going to be using the new Void super for Titan Twilight Arsenal. We're going to be able to throw axes, causing a weakening explosion. And the axes can be picked up and used as well by your fire team or yourself. It's really strong, and it's a really quick super for Titan, almost like a one and done. You don't have to spend a lot of time on your super, so this is going to pair very nice with Spirit of Eternal Warrior. For our abilities, I am going to be using Thruster since it has the fastest cooldown. It's really nice. For our jump, this is preference. I'm going to be using Strafe Lift. For our melee, this is important. You're going to want to use Frenzied Blade because it's going to pair very well with one of our aspects and allow us to spam it. And for our grenade, I like to use Pulse Grenade. I like to use the fragment that will allow my grenade to jolt, so this is a really strong option. Suppressor Grenade is also really strong as well. For our aspects, our first aspect of choice is going to be Knockout. Critically wounding a target or breaking their shield infuses your melee attacks with arc energy and increases your melee range and damage for a short time. Defeating targets with melee attacks makes you amplified and restores a portion of your health. Defeating more powerful combatants increases the amount of health restored. So this is going to pair very nice with Spirit of the Syntheseps. It's going to pair nice with Frenzy Blade since we have 3 charges of it, and Consecration as well, which is going to be our second aspect. Consecration. While sliding, activate your charge melee ability to launch a wave of solar energy forward, damaging and scorching targets in front of you as you leap into the air. While airborne, activate your charge melee again to slam to the ground and create a larger wave of damaging solar energy. If the wave hits a scorched target, they ignite. So you can see the combo here. We can activate our Transcendence, which is going to really just overcharge our abilities. We're going to be able to spam it, so we could constantly throw that Consecration out over and over again. We're going to be able to throw our grenade out constantly, which is going to jolt targets as well. It's going to allow us to do even more damage. This is a really strong combo, just spamming Consecration, throwing grenades, and it's going to constantly be proccing Knockout, which is going to heal us and give us more damage. This is a very nice combo. Alright, now taking a look at our fragments of choice, our first fragment is going to be Facet of Protection. While surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. While Transcendent, the effect is increased. This is also a +10 to our strength stat. This pairs very nice with Spirit of Syntheseps. Since we get bonus melee damage when surrounded, we're going to constantly have more... This pairs very well with Spirit of Syntheseps because Spirit of Syntheseps procs while being surrounded as well. So this is going to be nice damage resist on top of Devour, our Overshield, our Amplification, all of that. So really nice. For our second Prismatic Fragment, we're going to be using Facet of Bravery. Defeating targets with Grenade Final Blows grants volatile rounds to your Void weapons. Defeating targets with Powered Melee Final Blows grant Unraveling rounds to your Strand weapons. So this is really nice. We're going to be able to have volatile rounds for our Buried Bloodline. And if you decide to swap your super for the Strand super, if you have a Cataphract, getting our Powered Melee Final Blows is going to give our Strand weapons Unraveling rounds as well. So this is really nice. You can run Buried Bloodline with Strand weapons, or you can run it the way I'm running it here with Void. But this is a very strong fragment in this build. Our third Prismatic Fragment is going to be Facet of Sacrifice. While you have an Arc, Solar, or Void buff, Ability Final Blows grant bonus Darkness Transcendence energy. This is also a +10 to our Discipline. This is really nice because we're going to have constant buffs. We're going to have Amplification, we're going to have Radiant, we're going to have Overshield, we're going to have Devour. So we're going to be constantly getting extra Darkness Transcendent energy from our Ability Final Blows. Our fourth fragment is going to be Facet of Dominance. Your Void grenades weaken targets and your Arc grenades jolt targets. This is a -10 to Discipline, but it's going to allow us to constantly jolt targets with our Pulse Grenade. Our final Prismatic Fragment is going to be Facet of Blessing. Melee Final Blows start health regeneration. While Transcendent, melee Final Blows start health regeneration for you and nearby allies. So this just plays into the build. We're going to constantly be getting melee Final Blows, so we're going to have health regen on top of knockout as well, and with Devour. So we're going to be pretty tanky in this build. Right, now taking a look at our weapons of choice, in our kinetic slot I am going to be using the Wastelander M5. This is a really nice option in this build since it's melee focused. I'm going to have enhanced lead from gold and enhanced 1-2 punch. Lead from gold is really nice because we are running a double special build, so I'm going to be spawning a lot of heavy bricks, which is going to give me ammo for this weapon. We already went over our exotic slot. We're going to be using a Buried Bloodline. In our heavy slot, I am using Edge Transit with Enhanced Avious Assassin and Enhanced Bait and Switch. You could swap this in for something like Falling Guillotine as well. But if you are on Strand, Cataphract is a very nice option because we're going to get that free ×4 weapon surge after our super ends. And you could swap your Wastelander M5 for a Swordbreaker. So it's really easy to swap out for different weapons in this build if you have to change your super. Alright, now let's take a look at our armor and armor mods. On our helmet, we're going to be using one Harmonic Siphon. So since I am using a Void super, my Buried Bloodline is going to be able to create Orbs of Power on rapid Final Blows. I'm also going to be using one hands-on, gain bonus super energy on melee kills. We're going to be getting a lot of melee kills, so we're going to be able to get that super back really fast. And the final armor mod on our helmet is going to be one Heavy Ammo Finder. On our gauntlets, I'm going to be using one Focusing Strike, grants class ability energy when you cause damage with your powered melee attack. I'm going to be using one Font of Vigor. You gain bonus strength while you have any armor charge. So this is nice. When we pick up an Orb of Power, it's going to give us a +30 to our strength, so I am going to be at 81 strength. And our final mod on our gauntlets is going to be one Heavy-Handed. Your powered melee Final Blows create Orbs of Power. On our chest armor, this is always just preference. Since I'm going to be up close and personal, I do like to run one melee damage resist, and these can change according to the threats in the activity you're running. On our leg armor, I'm going to be using one Harmonic Scavenger, so when I run over a special ammo brick, I'm going to get more ammo for my Buried Bloodline for my Void weapons, and for my Edge Transit as well. I'm also going to be using one Innervation, reduces grenade cooldown each time you pick up an Orb of Power. You could sub this in for something else like Recuperation if you want even more healing on top of all the stuff we got going on as well. But I feel like that's a little overkill, so I'm using Innervation. You could sub this out also for Invigoration to get even more melee energy. And our final armor mod on our legs is going to be Stacks on Stacks. Picking up an Orb of Power grants you an additional stack of armor charge, so it's like a 2-for-1 special. You get 2 armor charges for 1 orb. And finally, on our exotic Titan mark, we're going to be using double outreach. So when we use our thruster ability, it's going to reduce the cooldown on our melee. We're also going to be using one Reaper. After we use our thruster ability, our next final blow will create an orb of power. Alright, now taking a look at the artifact perks, there are a lot of perks here that run very well in this build. Our first perk is going to be Unstoppable Sidearm. We're going to be using Buried Bloodline, so it's going to allow us to stun unstoppable champs. Our next artifact perk is going to be Void Hegemony. While you have a Void or Prismatic subclass equipped, defeating weakened targets provides a small Void overshield. This is nice because our Buried Bloodline is going to weaken targets when we have Devour up. So this is just free overshield on top of everything else we're going to have going on. The next artifact perk you're going to want to run is Radiant Orbs. While you have a Solar or Prismatic subclass equipped, picking up an Orb of Power makes you Radiant. We're going to be able to have free Radiant the whole time because we're going to be getting powered melee final blows. It's going to spawn an Orb of Power right there, and once we pick it up, that's just Radiant on demand. This is really nice in this build. We're also going to want to run Galvanic Armor. While you have an Arc or Prismatic subclass equipped, incoming damage from combatants is reduced while amplified. We are constantly going to be amplified because our aspect knockout. So this is really, really nice. This is added damage resist on top of our fragment and all of the buffs we're going to have going on. So our Titan is going to be pretty tanky. The final two artifact perks you're going to want to run is Expanding Abyss and Shield Crush. Expanding Abyss, void sources deal increased damage to weakened targets. So you can see the synergy here. We're going to be able to weaken using our Buried Bloodline exotic sidearm, and then our Edge Transit can do even more damage. We're going to have that 15% debuff from weaken and the increased damage to weakened targets. So this is a really nice combo. And for Shield Crush, while you have Woven Mail, Frost Armor, or Void Overshield, your melee recharges faster and deals increased damage. While you are Amplified or Radiant, your Grenade recharges faster and deals increased damage. So you can see the double whammy here. We're going to have Void Overshield from our Buried Bloodline, which is going to give us faster melees and increased damage on our melee. And we're going to constantly be Amplified and Radiant as well. So our grenades will do even more damage and recharge faster too. And they'll charge even faster since we'll have Devour going as well. So Shield Crush is a very, very strong artifact perk for this build. Alright, now here's a quick summary of the build. You can see all my armor mods right here, all the artifact perks right here, and my stat distribution. I would say Resilience is the most important, and you can always choose from there where you want to have a stat spike. You can see all my weapons here and the respective roles. Here is a quick drip check of the build. You can see the armor pieces I used and the shader. Alright, now that is going to be it for the build. If you're able to get this exotic mark with the same roles and you're able to try this build out, let me know how you like it down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn that notification bell on for more Destiny 2 build videos coming very soon. I will have the dim link for this build down in the description below. The link to my Discord will be in the description below as well. Thanks again for watching the video. My name is The Deli, and peace.